If you want to make instant dreadlocks or maintain frizzy dreadlocks, make sure to pick yourself up a crochet hook from Greatlocs.com. Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to an episode of Greatlocs. I'm Gunther the Great, and today we're going to be taking a look at King Von's dreadlocks. And it's funny that you guys requested King Von because I personally think that he has more of a traditional style of dreadlocks. Of course, he has some blonde, and then he does 2 strand twists quite often. But if I were to label his dreadlocks, like you have freeform dreadlocks, you have twisting with gel dreadlocks, you have crochet hook dreadlocks, you have all these different methods on how to get dreadlocks, which with him, I'll explain later on in the video. His dreadlocks are more on the basic end, and it's not a bad thing. Now, the good thing about his dreadlocks is they're really healthy and they're gonna last a very long time because they're in really good condition because he kept them very well. But we'll take a look at the progress of his dreadlocks right now. So right off the bat, you see that he has the 2 strand twists in. Now, the cool thing about doing 2 strand twists, when you do a twist out, the dreadlocks become curly, which is interesting because we don't really see that often with King Von. So possibly what's happening is he'll do a 2 strand twist, and then when he takes the 2 strand twist out, he'll probably wash his dreadlocks, because when you wash it, it washes out the curls that would have been in the dreadlocks, which isn't a bad thing because I know a lot of guys don't like the look of curly dreadlocks, which is completely fine. And a lot of people do like the look of curly dreadlocks. So if you want that look, make sure to do either braids or 2 strand twist, and then do a braid out or a twist out, and you'll have curly dreadlocks. But you can already tell right off the bat that all of his dreadlocks are pretty much the same size. They're all cylindrical. So that already tells me that he started his dreadlocks out with twisting with gel, which is the traditional route. And when you think of dreadlocks, especially with his hair type, which is a 4B or 4C, when you think of getting dreadlocks with that hair type, you automatically think of twisting with gel because it's the traditional way, unless you have knowledge of all the other methods like sponge rub, crochet hooking, twist and rip, which you wouldn't do twist and rip on this hair type. Twist and rip is reserved for straight hair types, but that's for another video. But we see in this photo as well that he's wearing the 2 strand twists, and there's only one thing that I noticed that he does differently, and it explains it in this photo right here. So like we've seen in the previous photos, he has the 2 strand twists and he has them in this one as well. But the difference between this one and the earlier ones is that he's actually doing the 2 strand twist, intertwining a bleached dreadlock with his natural hair color dreadlock. And that's one thing that we didn't see before with King Von. Now, it's not a huge change and it's not a big difference, but that's the only thing that I seen that was different with his hair. That's one thing about traditional style of dreadlocks. There's not much change that happens besides the maturing process in the beginning stages. So if you want more of a unique style of dreadlocks, I would recommend choosing a different route. Freeform is 100% unique. With crochet hooking, you have complete control of maintaining your dreadlocks the way that you would like them so that they don't look like other people's. With sponge rub, your hair naturally forms based on how you're doing the sponge rub method. So there's all these other methods that make your dreadlocks more unique to yourself versus doing the twisting with gel method. But if you want to go that route, which I'm not opposed to because I actually want to do that route next, then go the traditional route because it makes your dreadlocks look completely maintained, although it does take time. So we see that he's still doing the 2 strand twist with putting the bleach with the black dreadlocks. And I actually only see that with one of his 2 strand twists in this photo. But one thing to know about how he started his dreadlocks, which is the twisting with gel method, is that it takes a while for it to mature, which isn't a bad thing. If you have the patience, which is actually good to build up your patience using this method, then go ahead and do it. Because when you twist with gel, you're obviously using products, which kind of contradicts the locking process. That's why you have to twist with gel, let it hold, and then you rinse out the product. So it's a very interesting process. And if you want more on twisting with gel, I can make a video on just twisting with gel. Because all you're really doing is spraying the hair to get it damp, twisting the hair, putting down some duck clips, and then allowing that to dry, and then eventually you wash out that product. Because of course the hair can lock up with the product inside there, but then you're always gonna have buildup inside of your dreadlocks, which buildup is inevitable, but if you can prevent it, then I would recommend to prevent it. And I do want to say as well that with the twisting with gel method, it takes about 2 to possibly 4 months for the hair to start budding up and locking up. All right, and moving on to this last photo, we can see how there was really minimal changes to his dreadlocks throughout this whole time period. And one thing that I will notice in this photo is that his dreadlocks in the back are actually a bit curly. And the reason they are curly is because he does 2 strand twists so often. This isn't curls from a twist out. These are curls that have developed over time from him doing the 2 strand twist. This isn't from a twist out because you can see that the dreadlocks in the front are not curly, but those few in the back that have curls curls in them, those are actually permanent curls. I wouldn't even call them curls, I would call them bends. Just like if you were to have your dreadlocks in a hair tie for a long time and they would bend at a certain point, that's essentially what's happening to his hair. But you can see why I called it more of a basic dreadlock or traditional, and it's because he started out with the twisting with gel, which turns out to be obviously a maintained method in order to get dreadlocks. But with that being said, it will look pretty similar to other people who have started that method. It would look pretty similar to people who have started their dreadlocks out with that method. Like if you think of Waka Flocka, if you think of Lil Wayne when his hair was maintained, if you think of Chief Keef, all those people have a very similar resemblance to their dreadlocks, and it's because of the twisting with gel method. So if you're wondering why some people's dreadlocks look basic and some people's look very freeform like or very unique, which is interesting because earlier on this week I did a video on Ian Dior, and you could see the polar opposites of a completely freeform set of dreadlocks versus completely maintained dreadlocks with King Von. So basic isn't a bad thing. The cool thing about basic or traditional style of dreadlocks is that they're completely maintained. They're very healthy and very strong because you always are doing maintenance to them. And I don't mean always doing maintenance like every single day you're doing maintenance, but the maintenance that you do pays off very well and it looks very good. It keeps the dreadlocks very cylindrical and keeps them all the same shape when you're doing maintenance every once a month or every 2 months. But like you heard at the beginning of the video, if you want instant dreadlocks, like if you want to get dreadlocks today, make sure to pick yourself up a crochet hook from Greatlocs.com. So a link to Greatlocs.com is down below. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.